Or, yeah. And this is the character that I have grown up to start to associate with the most. Not like that. You can just call me Sage. You take the arrow part out. All right? Just send it. It's fine. All right. The arrow sending part. No. But what I find interesting is that I realized this just recently that Jiraiya is a writer who thinks that the best way to change the world is to try to inspire the next generation with a story about a guy named Naruto. I'm a writer that's doing that. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right now. Where have you been, dude? Get off your phone, man. All right? Stop checking Facebook and wait. This is, I feel like I understand now. It's funny because it's like this weird thing. I'm not a ninja. I do not have awesome hair like that, and I'm not quite a snazzy dresser. But I do understand the idea of using mythology to try to influence people, because it's a lot of what I do. I feel like mythology is something that we've lost in the world now. It seems to be becoming less and less important to people, and I feel like the only way to really get people back to it is for me to shove it down their throats as hard as possible. And so that's what I'm doing. But I'm being crafty about it by doing it with anime and television shows. That's pretty much my thing. But anyway, I completely just had an ADD moment. Hang on. So I love the fact that with Naruto, anyone, I feel, can find a character in Naruto that they can associate with, that they can relate to in some way, or at least can learn to understand, to see the character, understand why they don't like them, and then understand why they are the way that they are. And I would ask that if you leave here today, try to keep that in mind in your life. If you run into somebody that for some reason or other you just are constantly butting heads, maybe try to find out more about that person, before you decide you hate them forever. Because hate's a strong word. At least that's what my mother always told me. All right, so I'm gonna open it up for questions now. I have no transition at the end of this thing. Sorry. This is all the effort you guys are getting. I will take I have about 10 minutes. Sorry, because every year this thing gets longer. Maybe I should stop doing the recaps. I don't know. But like I said, this is the 4th year I've done this, and I will be here for a 5th year, hopefully. If they invite me back, I will be here for a 5th year. But I'll open up for questions, and afterwards, if you guys want to come up, we do have books for sale if you want to buy them. And yes, that's about it. Yes?
Okay, so you're talking about with Obito and all that, how Naruto takes himself as an officer. So what about with knowledge? So he was for Mythology? That was Tsunade's brother?
Oh, right. Okay, so what about that? He's what? Right, yeah, absolutely. It's kind of like with Tsunade, she sees him in Naruto, and that more or less is how they, how she kind of comes to learn to accept him. But that is more, like I said, like born in a brother type of thing. Hang on one second, let me let people get out of here. Alright, right there. Yes?
What are your thoughts about the Uchiha clan?
The Uchiha clan? Well, they've got cool eyes, and they can do some really cool stuff. I think that the Uchiha clan is a very interesting lesson, in that sometimes I've found that when people don't know what's going on with a group. Alright, sorry, I'm getting thumbs up. When people don't know what a group is doing in secret, they just kind of freak out and start making stuff up. That's why there are so many books about the Freemasons. Alright, it's really just your grandfathers hanging out and talking about their wives and drinking. Alright, but the fact that they don't talk about what they're doing tends to make people freak out about it. And I think that the Uchiha clan is very much kind of that kind of situation. Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right. Right there.
Sasuke.
Yes.
If he does continue on the path he is now, do you see a long road of redemption for him?
You know what I think? I right now feel like, and obviously I don't know if they cover this in the manga. I feel like there are two. I am under the impression that Sasuke is kind of on his way right now in the anime, and I feel like one of two things is going to happen. He's either there to help, or he's there to make sure Konoha is destroyed. Depending on which way he goes, I feel like if he shows up at the end to rescue everybody, it's kind of like, you know, it's really easy to get people to accept you when you save everyone's lives, you know. So I think that would probably be the deciding factor. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Red shirt.
My question is, when you were talking about comparing Excalibur to the QB, I noticed that you were comparing like Naruto to King Arthur. How do you compare the other tailed beasts as well as the jutsus in Naruto to mythology? So,
Well, the beasts themselves are actually from Shinto mythology. Yeah. You know, you have several different, like, Son Goku, not the Dragon Ball character, the god. Or the kami. The Vortail, right? But Son Goku is a kami, or a nature spirit, I guess, not really a kami, from Japanese Shinto mythology. The truth is, most of them are, if they're not directly, like some of them are kind of like they suggest that they might be something, but there's no way to know for sure.
Well, it's not like Naruto.
because
But like the Shukaku, for example, is Tanuki, which is another nature spirit from Japanese mythology that usually there's a funny little story about a guy who finds a teapot, or these monks, right? One day, this monk's teaching a class and he puts a teapot on it's the shape of a tanuki, on the stove, and it starts jumping around going, oh man, that's burns, and it freaks the monk out, so he just tosses it outside. And this woodcutter finds the teapot, and he's like, oh, somebody threw out a teapot, this is awesome, I'm totally, like, score, I got a teapot. And he takes it home, he starts to put it on the stove and does the same thing, he takes it off, but he's scared to death of it, but he doesn't throw it out. And the tanuki's like, look man, if you just promise not to put me on the stove anymore and feed me rice cakes every day, like, I will go into town and dance for money. Not like that. It was more like he was like, you know, like that. That's how I see it in my head anyway. And then, so it made the woodcutter very, very wealthy. And then after a while, he asked the tanuki, like, well, what do you want? What can I do for you? You've done so much for me. He's like, you know, I'd actually like to go back to the monastery. And so he takes the teapot back to the monastery and explains that they're to feed it rice cakes every day and not put it on the stove. They agree to do so. And to this day, in that monastery, there's a tanuki-shaped teapot that is kept on the table, and it is given a plate of fresh rice cakes every day, and they are not touched by human beings. I don't know if the tanuki eats them or not. I don't know. I've never been there, so I haven't seen it.
Okay, I love Sai, right?
Sai, right? Sorry, I didn't get in the list.
And what do you think is Sai's inner shadow? Is it his brother, or is it Donzo? Is it that goal? Is it that want to be needed?
His shadow? Oh, I feel like Sai was his shadow when he showed up. He was so, yeah, he was just, you know, he was completely, like, there was no ego for Sai. I mean, like...
He wasn't a good fighter, right? He was.
No, I'm just saying, like, as far as the shadow's concerned, like, when Sai showed up, like he would more or less just say exactly what he thought of people, no matter how offensive and bad it was. Like, it was, like, immediately what he did. So it was like he had no persona, he had no mask. He just was all this. And then he kind of learned, well, you know, maybe I should kind of, like, start having a mask, because...
Not call people ugly to their face.
Right. Not call girls ugly to their face, or insult, you know, my teammates constantly from the beginning, and like make penis jokes, like he did, a lot of them, which were kind of creepy. You know, yeah, Sai, I would say that he definitely was kind of like totally at one with his shadow when he showed up. Yeah, he had no ego or persona. He figured out how to get one, which makes him a lot more fun to be around, I have to admit. All right, let me get gray shirt in the back there.
You compare Naruto to the Arthurian legend, but doesn't the Arthurian legend kind of end with King Arthur dying? So,
Yes. And my better half pointed that out to me recently, and I lost my mind.
Well, isn't that kind of iffy though? Because
Well,
there's also the other half.
yeah, I was going to get to that.
ones that
In the Naruto myth, he ends up being taken to the island of Avalon by the three enchantresses, and that's where he is supposed to be to this day, according to the legend. And when the Britons need him again, when he's done healing, he'll return. I'm hoping he gets done healing soon, because he's been doing it for a really long time. But anyway, that's. I'm sorry, did that answer your question?
Not really.
Not really, no. What was the question? Ask it to me again.
It's about
Oh, are you asking if I think Naruto was going to die at the end of this? Is that what you're thinking? I think it's a possibility. I do believe it's a possibility. I would prefer it not happen. But I definitely don't think it's outside the realm of possibility at all. In the front here.
You said the end goal was Hokage, and you're afraid that the series is going to end, but doesn't he have to become the next stage of the Six Paths and rule the world?
Yeah, that would be awesome too. I don't know. I think he could do that, and I think it's definitely on the way. But what I mean is, in Naruto's mind, is actually what I was more getting to. Is that for Naruto, getting to Hokage is like the end goal for him. I didn't mean like for the whole anime.
No, I understand what you meant. I just wanted to fanboy about the series.
It's okay. No, I totally understand. That's fine. All right, hang on one second. Let me check real quick. All right, I got time for one more. Let me get somebody I didn't get in the back there, or whoever you are.
Do you believe that this is a little spoilerish for some guys who haven't gotten up yet?
All right, are you gonna talk about the manga?
I'm talking about canon.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you believe that if Kakashi hadn't forced to kill her and she wasn't in the way of the story, if Obito would have turned out still an impersonation of Madara, or would he have been able to return to the village and kind of just so?
Oh, you mean like when he came back and saw him kill Ren? If that hadn't happened,
new revelation.
I think if he had seen it, if he had gotten there and just seen the two of them fighting, I think it would have been a very different outcome. I think he would have realized, oh, they're alive, I can help them. But the fact that he shows up just at the moment, of course, he shows up, just at the moment where Kakashi, is basically, Chidoriing the crap out of Ren. Obviously that, yeah, he just, because she was kind of his whole reason for existence, and he was kind of obsessed with her to a degree. So obviously that caused that definitely had a hand in it. All right, you guys. I'm so sorry. I'm out of time for questions. We have books up here. If you have a book and brought it, I'm happy to sign.